The Ramon Preston Show. We are live today. I am super excited. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We are a few minutes after noon, but guess what? We made it to the promised land, and I'm super excited about today. For those of you that are coming on, I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know. Prophet Ramon, the squad, the tribe, we are live right here on this Wednesday, this winning Wednesday, right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. So ladies and gentlemen, please do me a quick favor. Make sure that you put in the comments what city you're watching us from. Uh-oh, did we go out? Yeah, please put what city you're watching me from in the comments if you can. I would love to know where you're watching us from. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. How's everybody doing today? How is your Wednesday going so far? Hopefully you are actually winning on this Wednesday. So please, if you're coming on, let me know what city you're watching me from. Let me know what city you represent. And if you are a part of our licensing program, our certification program, our millionaire mentorship program, or our millionaire blueprint program, or you're just a part of our community as a whole, I want you to let us know where you're watching us from. And I'm just super excited about what's happening with our community. We have so many success stories. I have heard so many amazing success stories just within the last couple weeks. It has literally just blown my mind to see and to know that what we are teaching, what we are sharing, what we are giving our community is actually working. So I want to say welcome to the show. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you for following us. Thank you for trusting us. If you're anywhere in our business ecosystem, we have so many amazing things going on, and we have success stories, we have results, we have success manifestation in the lives of a lot of our entrepreneurs who can verify that what we're preaching, what we're teaching, what we're sharing is actually working. So welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be talking about the Business Incubator. The Business Incubator. And I'm using this as a headline to really explain some of the principles and the practices and even the processes that we use here in our company, in which we share with our students, we share with our clients, our mentees, and even our licensees. My goal is for you to experience success in your personal, your professional, and in your financial life. For years, I struggled. I really struggled. I struggled with creating success for myself. I struggled with making enough money to experience any level of freedom. And so once I was able to figure it out, I made sure that I documented enough of my process and was able to go back and duplicate enough of my process to be able to package it in ways that I can share it with you and so that you can understand it. So I can't even tell you how many books I've read just in my career as a minister, in my career as an entrepreneur. I probably read a couple thousand maybe. I can't even tell you how much content I have consumed just within the last 21, 22 years of my life since I started entertaining the idea of leading in ministry and leading in the marketplace. But what I can tell you is when you are able to gravitate to people like myself who have the experience, who have been able to successfully navigate through those experiences and have proof to show that whatever the principles are and the practices are and the processes are that they live by, they actually work. That's very, very key. And so when you're able to come into an ecosystem, when you're able to gravitate to someone who has actually figured out a lot of the things along the way and who is willing to share those things with you, I consider those things to not just be a blessing. Of course they are a blessing, but on a more professional note, those opportunities provide for you what I consider to be a business incubator. So when I say business incubator, I'm saying that no matter where you are in your personal life, your professional life, and your financial life, at some point, you're going to have to bring those things into an ecosystem and give yourself enough time. Give yourself enough time to work the principles, to develop the practices, to integrate the systems and processes so that you can start seeing how they actually work. So for example, if you Google a lot, if you do a lot of research, if you follow people like me and you listen to me, and you're incrementally adding certain data points to your life and you're starting to understand what it takes for you to succeed and what it takes for you to build a business and what it takes for you to grow and expand as an entrepreneur, you have somewhat of an idea of how it works and what it's going to take to succeed. But if it's not concentrated, meaning that if you don't bring it together and concentrate it and contextualize it in what we may consider to be a business incubator, you're never really able to quantify your success. So today I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. I want to definitely see to it that when we get to the back end of today's show, if you are really sincere and serious, and if you're willing to give yourself enough time to learn business principles, to implement business practices, and to integrate business systems and processes, if you're willing to go through this thing successfully, I'm going to give you an offer at the end of today's show. And I'm really reintroducing some offers that I really took off the table for the last few weeks because I was so busy doing so many other things. I just didn't know if I was going to really have time to invest in a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners. But just within the last week or so, I've been in this zone where I just see like this bigger picture, and I understand how important it is for me and my team to impact my community. And it's just given me another reason to go even harder, to share this information with you and to extend opportunities for you to get in and to figure it out so that you can get on the other side of what a lot of people are stuck in. All right. And so I want to simplify this thing. When it comes to you creating a incubator for your business, it's all about you building a foundation and creating a framework on that foundation that you're able to use to keep your business, your ideas, to keep your products, your services, to keep your entrepreneurial endeavors moving forward, which includes your dreams and your desires, your ambitions and aspirations. So where do we begin? Okay, where do we begin? I want you to consider this segment today to be the first of many opportunities for me to show you how to succeed in your business as an entrepreneur. I want you to consider this to be like one of the first previews or preliminary segments to the business incubator I want to provide for you. Okay, so it all starts with, for me, it starts with structure. This is where it starts at. It starts with structure. Now again, even though structure should be like the bedrock, because I'm explaining it, I'm putting it at the top. So we want to prioritize it from the top to bottom. So it all starts with structure. Some of you are already familiar with these principles, but maybe you just need to be reminded about these principles. So if you want to build a successful business, if you want to expand your current business, if you want to really experience success in your business as an entrepreneur, I want you to consider this to be a business incubator conversation. This is the first part of it, all right? Number one, you got to start with structure. It all starts with structure. Now, again, if I had you in a classroom setting, if we were in a mastermind or a workshop, I could pull out diagrams and images, and I'll have workbooks for you, and we could do some walkthrough exercises. So I'm not able to show you all the visuals. Of course, if you join our mentorship program, I'll give you access to that, or maybe you become a licensee, or you look towards getting certified and trained on a real professional level. But in any event, it starts with structure. So what do you mean by structure? Okay, let's talk about what structure looks like. So I'll just kind of half it, and we're gonna do this. This is you. Okay, this is you. Now, of course, if you are married and you have a spouse, or if you have a partner, or if you have a family member that's working with you, this is where you are. You're at the top. So the objective to your success, the objective to your entrepreneurial endeavors, the objective to you making more money and becoming financially free and being a millionaire and using business systems and structures to do it, the objective is for you to stay at the top, or whoever is with you at the top. And so if you are at the top, you're at the top of the mountain, under you needs to be a legitimate structure, a legitimate business structure that can be strong enough to sustain how you grow as an individual. So many people miss this first and very important point. So many people miss this point, because if you want your business to grow, if you want your sales to grow, if you want your exposure to grow, if you want all these things that are interconnected to a business to grow, that reflect your financial situation, you want those things to grow, they are all dependent upon or subjected to who? They're all dependent upon and subjected to you as an individual. This is why personal growth, personal education, personal training, personal development is critical. Like nothing under you grows if you're not growing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so I've been having this conversation with a lot of entrepreneurs that I'm coaching and mentoring, explaining to them and really reminding them that if I'm giving you educational content, I'm giving you access to an online platform that teaches you financial literacy and entrepreneurship and business ownership and real estate investing and family wealth building. You're learning all these principles. You've got to build the muscle. You've got to develop the discipline to understand that outside of you creating products and services, outside of you building a business, outside of you marketing, outside of you selling, all these things are going to be reflections of how you as an individual are growing. Now, of course, there are many thought leaders, many business leaders, many entrepreneurship gurus in the world, and many of them talk about the law of the lid, how your business is only going to go as far as you as an individual have gone. So you can't expect for your sales to go to a place you as an individual haven't gone. You can't expect for your staff or the people you work with to go beyond a place you've gone. You can't expect for your company, for your marketing. None of these things actually go beyond where you go, because they are limited to the lid of who you are and what you're willing to develop the discipline and build the muscle to produce for yourself. So everything begins with you. So the most important component to being in an incubator for your business and developing it the right way and building it the right way is, how are you growing? How are you learning? How are you educating yourself? And what exactly are you putting into you for the purpose of building your business. It all starts with there. And then once you're able to check this box, you never uncheck it. Even today, literally, and I say this in all honesty and sincerity and transparency. And my wife, I mean, she lives with me. She sees me every day. My team does for the most part, but my wife definitely can tell you, he studies every day. Like every day I begin my day studying, I begin my day educating myself, I begin my day training, I begin my day building me up, developing me, making sure that I'm the best version of myself and the next best version of myself. And I'm continuing to seek different ways to reach my full potential. And even when I feel like I've reached a place of potential, I'm looking for the next place to reach because I want to continue to move. I want to continue to grow. Like if you sat down and talked to anybody on my team, they will probably tell you, especially my personal assistant, she'll tell you, she'll be the first one to tell you, almost every day, here's what she's probably going to tell you. Almost every day he walks in the office, he's either got a new idea or something he's adding to the new ideas that he's implementing and executing, or he's tweaking something to make it a better version of what it already is. But where is that coming from? Like, how do I come up with all these ideas? How am I able to continue to be innovative, and how am I continue to challenge the systems and the processes and the practices that we have? How am I able to come in here and identify with weak spots and drag in certain areas? And how am I able to figure out what the next pivot is and what the next best move is and how do we reset? How am I able to come in here and see that, okay, the decision I made a month ago, and this is actually true for me today. I just told my personal assistant when I walked in the door, there's something I did last month that I'm resetting this month because I did it only because I didn't have enough information. I didn't understand what the next step beyond that was. And so I pulled that idea and I set that idea on the back burner until I was able to figure out, but at least I was able to put it out there and introduce it. And once I did, I realized that, you know what, it's a little too premature. So how am I able to do all those things? How am I able to continue to do those things, but yet continue to move forward and my business continues to grow and we continue to expand? Because I'm always working on me. I'm always educating myself. I'm always studying. I'm always learning. I'm always reading. And so this is going to be key to you. So again, if you think about the business incubator concept, that means you're not going to really be able to concentrate and contextualize your business incubation if you're listening to everybody. If you're listening, you're reading all kind of books, you listening to all kind of videos, you follow every guru on social media, and you're just taking all these principles in, but nothing's sticking. It's not really growing you. It's giving you certain data points, but those data points are not connecting. And that means you're really not growing, and it's not really making a positive, successful impact in your business. I'm giving you the truth right here. Once you have you checked and you're continuing to build on that, this is where your structure comes in, because now you need to have a structure. My personal philosophy is that your structure needs to be a holding company. That should be your first structure. Now, even if you are operating a business for other purposes, so that means if you're selling hats, if you're selling t-shirts, if you cut grass, if you sell sunglasses, if you wash windows, if you detail cars, if you cook and cater, if you shine shoes, whatever the operational business is that you have, you still want to blanket your operational business with a holding company. So where exactly is your operational business going to land? Your operational business should be here. That's your operational entity. So that's what we would call a subsidiary, okay? And so your holding company is going to be under you because you want to use your holding company as an umbrella. Because remember, you are in the incubator of building a business ecosystem, an organizational enterprise that can literally become an asset in and of itself. And so in order for you to properly structure your organizational enterprise, it needs to be built under a holding company, and the holding company needs to be under you. Now, of course, we're introducing some new programs to our Millionaire Blueprint. We're going to be teaching about trust. We're going to be showing you how to create trust for your family. And so you're always able to integrate right here at some point a trust or mini trust, depending on how your family and your life is situated. But for most people starting an organizational enterprise, they will at least begin by starting a holding company, structuring that holding company correctly, and whatever the things are that they're doing, if they can do it within their holding company, they will just add a division here. And if there's a certain business operation that may have extra liability, that needs a level of separatism, then they're just going to separate it from their holding company and they're going to make it its own operational entity. That's structure. That's structure. So if you do not have your business structured like that, this is the first step you need to take. And most of the time, if your business is not structured like that, you know why? Because you have not had the right education. You have not had access to the right information. It's just the truth. The first business I started, it wasn't structured like this because I didn't even understand any of this. I saw it, but I really didn't understand it. And I really at the time didn't have a lot of access, at least I didn't think I had a lot of access to courses or content or people like me. Back when I started my business and my wife and I started our entrepreneurial journey, we really didn't have, let me see, me and my wife, we got married, 19 years ago. And we started as a two-person team. So I don't even think social media wasn't even a big thing in 2003. Like, I don't even think we had smartphones in 2003. I don't even know if we understood what an app was in 2003. So, we were still reading Encyclopedia Britannicas, and we were still trying to go to Yahoo and Bing and whatever other search engines they had to figure things out. So my point is, even though I may have been to some extent at a disadvantage, it still didn't negate the fact that I didn't have the right information. And so the first time I started my business, I started a LLC, but I started it as an operational entity. And even though I understood the concept of this a little bit, I didn't understand it enough. And so it affected the success and the growth and expansion of my first business. Actually, my first business and my second business. So the first two businesses that my wife and I started, at least structured. The first two businesses that we structured, we did not have them structured correctly. And so as we continue to grind and we continue to grow, and as I continue to learn and develop and educate myself and study and do research, that's when I realized that this is the perfect scenario for anyone who wants to succeed in this business incubator that they're building for themselves, okay? So you have your holding company. That would be LLC number one. And then you will have either divisions that don't necessarily have to be LLCs if what you're doing in your division is symbiotic enough that it's not volatile. Like, for example, if you know you're going to start a landscaping business or a tree trimming business, or you're going to be detailing cars, or you're going to be doing real estate investing or Airbnbs, or anything that you know is going to have a high probability of a liability. it's volatile, like it's just something that you don't want to expose your whole organization to, then you're going to have LLC number 1 as your holding company, and then that other company will be LLC number 2, 3, 4, and beyond. So what actually qualifies as a division? Well, I'll give you myself as an example. When I structured my first holding company, when I structured my first holding company, I took what I did as a consultant, I took what I did as a coach, I took what I did as a trainer, and instead of separating those 3 operations into separate LLCs, or even bundling them into a second LLC, I just used them as divisions of my holding company, because I knew I could just blanket my holding company with extra insurance, layer it with the type of insurance that would cover my advice that I give, or educational content that I share, or services I provide. I would be covered legally, and I would be covered with insurance, so that it wouldn't jeopardize or risk anything. Now, if I'm gonna do a real estate deal, because I do have a real estate investment company, that company is a separate LLC. Why? Because of the nature of that business. I don't want that to be a liability to my holding company that owns my trademarks, it owns my copyrights, it owns the intellectual processes and content that I've created to make my consulting, my coaching and training what it is. So I don't want that to be put at jeopardy for a bad real estate deal, okay? So the first thing is structure. Now, a part of your structure, some of y'all might be listening to me thinking to yourself, man, this stuff here is over the top. But guess what? This is why you need to give yourself time. You need to give yourself time. I always tell the people who join our mentorship program that when you join a program and it's a 1-year program, you got to give yourself that whole year. Don't try to squeeze everything in the first 90 days. Don't try to learn everything in the first 60 days. Don't try to figure everything out in the first 30 days. No, you look at what this 1-year program is about, and you see how you can incrementally build an ecosystem, a business system, and use this time as a whole incubator so that you can figure all these things out and connect the dots correctly so that you can actually see successful results at the end. That's how you're supposed to do it, okay? So back to my point, a part of your structure is once you have your holding company, you have your ideas for your divisions, you have your operational entities situated, you got your names. This is the legal side of it. This is the structure side. You filed your paperwork, you formed your legal entities. Now it's time to build a stronger framework for that structure. Under this, the next most important thing would be for you to identify with at least the top 5 corporate roles. The top 5 corporate roles. So you have the CEO, you have the CSO, the CMO, the CFO, and the COO. Now, this is the process I like to take my clients and my mentees and students through in my incubator, because I know even though there may be some changes and some adjustments that need to be made, this is a general template. This is a general workflow that you can actually use to really make sense of how you build a successful business system, okay? So you want to look at these top 5 corporate roles. Why? Because whatever the systems are and the processes are, that's number 2, systems. Whatever the systems are and the processes are, you want to make sure that they are interconnected to these top 5 corporate roles, which really become the middleman between your structure and your systems and processes. So you have structure, you have systems, all right? Well, guess what? If you as a person is on top of the structure and you have certain principles and philosophies that you live by, and then you have a structure, right? You have a structure, and then your structure is supported by systems, and your systems are complemented by processes. Just this alone, even though this is a lot of scribble, of course, I got better diagrams to show you, but just this alone will help you wrap your mind around what building a business is all about. I hope I'm making sense to you. Like, please give me some feedback in the comments of how you're understanding what I'm sharing with you and if it's actually making sense. Because remember, I only have a few minutes on the show to share a lot of this information with you that it takes me at least a year to share with my mentees. And I share it within a year through weekly coaching calls, through coaching sessions, one-on-ones, through quarterly workshops, quarterly masterminds. I share this through my online training program. So if you think about how much information I have to share and how many different ways I'm sharing it within a program for a year, typically, you can see why it's not the easiest thing to wrap your mind around in 20 or 30 minutes, but at least you're able to see that, oh, okay, I need to be at the top. I need to educate myself. I need to train. I need to be learning information like what Ramon is talking about. I need to familiarize myself with these principles, with these practices. And once I start gathering that data and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, the first step I'm going to take is to make sure my structure, my infrastructure, everything that's built starts with infrastructure, right? Like all around here in Buckhead, they have high rises that are being built. And a lot of times you don't even know a high rise is being built until you look over there and you see how far in the ground they're going. And you know, oh, okay, they're working on infrastructure, because they know in order for them to go so far up, they got to go so far down, and it's got to be solid. So they got to pour a lot of concrete, a lot of steel. A lot of this stuff has to happen, and this is what you're doing here because you want to be able to stand on an infrastructure that's not going to be shaken. So when things happen, when life happens, when industries shut down, when the world shuts down, like in the quarantine, when all types of disruption takes place, guess what? You are solidified because you did it the right way the first time with your structure. And you put yourself in a position to learn to become more of an asset manager than just an operator. Because you don't want to just be an operator of a business that's selling products and services. You want to be an asset manager. You want to be able to elevate yourself and stay elevated so that you could start documenting what you're doing, duplicating what you're doing, and at some point automating what you're doing once you start adding systems and processes. But the best way to figure out what systems you need to add is to start with the first top 5 corporate roles. So we have CEO, we have CSO. This is the Chief Executive Officer. This is the Chief Sales Officer. This is the Chief Marketing Officer. This is the Financial Officer and the Operations. So each of those 5 represents 5 different departments or divisions within your organizational enterprise. So if you're able to identify with that, at least as a starting point, now you're able to see, okay, what systems, number 2, what systems do I actually need? What types of systems do I need? For each of these corporate C-level roles, there are certain systems. And for those systems to work, you have to complement them with certain processes. Like, this is how this business incubator should be working for you. And if you're not in that kind of incubator, if you're not in an environment or in an ecosystem where you're learning how to make sense of this and figure this out, I guarantee you, like, there's no doubt about it, I know you are having a hard time growing as a person and growing your business. So we have the CEO. This is the executive. This is the main person. So if you're a business owner, that's you. We have the CSO. This is sales. Like, sales is the lifeblood of your business. If you ain't making sales, you ain't got no business. Number 3, we got marketing. So now the truth is your marketing is very important, because without marketing, you may not even have sales. Now, at first, and really not at first, but at any point that your marketing is taking a little more time than it needs to, because sometimes marketing requires a lot of time. It requires time because you got to warm people up and you got to kind of bring people into your ecosystem. So a lot of times you can't afford to just wait on your marketing to work for you. Sometimes you just got to jump into sales and say, hey, I got to make a sale. I can't just wait to market to let the world know who I am. I got to demand the money, right? And so number 4, we got the financial. And then number 5, we have the operational, or I'll just say operations. So if you're able to at least identify with systems, number 2, and processes, because when you get to the process part, we might have to talk about that tomorrow and Friday. But just with these 5 roles on a C level, right? On a corporate level, right? If you can identify with what type of executive system you actually need, there are certain executive systems, and so let me kind of help you understand what these systems describe. So if you need an executive system, what that means is you need a system to help you or to assist you in not just building your business, but a system or systems that can actually assist you in documenting all the details of what you do on a day-to-day basis. Like everything that you do every day, how are you actually going to document it? How are you actually going to track it? How are you going to make sure that what you are doing on a corporate level, on an executive level, that it is qualified with certain pieces of information, and it can be quantified to show you how is it impacting the bottom line dollar amount of your business. That's the executive's responsibility. Like, you're really not going to be able to hire people in any of these areas or any other departments that are interconnected to these areas without at least knowing what exactly do they supposed to do and what should their impact be measured by. This is where systems and processes make or break a business. Because I'm telling you, I'll be the first one to tell you this. I can attest to the fact that it's easy to go out there and make money if you're just a grinder and a hustler and a go-getter. Because I did it for years. For years, I went out there and, you know, I can find a way to go make some money. Man, I can go pick cans. I can knock on doors. I can sell soda or water. It don't matter. I can clean toilets. I can paint walls. I can put light fixtures up. I figure out a way to go make a couple $100. But is that sustainable? No, it's not sustainable. And just because I'm able to go make money doesn't mean I'm able to go run a business. And it doesn't mean just because I have an LLC, articles of organization, I got a website, I got my EIN and a bank account, I got a credit line, I got a U line, all that stuff. It still doesn't mean I know how to run a business. So when you think about being in a business incubator, you need to think about being in an ecosystem, being in an environment where you can actually learn how to legitimately and successfully run a business. And these are like the 3 most important points or components to doing so. Listen, I'm not going to be able to stay long today because I got a lot of work that I need to do, but I wanted to at least introduce you to somewhat of a higher level concept of what you need to do on a day-to-day basis to really succeed in your business. So if you're thinking about getting into business, if you are already in business, but you're really not able to see progress, you're not making money, or you're not making enough money, or it's kind of falling off, things are dying out, and you really just don't know what to do, and you're confused and you're scrambled, and you just can't make sense of where do you need to start and where do you need to restart? What do you need to organize? What do you need to reorganize? What you need is an environment. You need an ecosystem to come into. This is one of the reasons why I created this 1-year Millionaire Mentorship Program. And it's really an exhaustive, like extended version of what I do in my business, because I'm using this 1 year to literally walk you through each phase of the processes that need to take place step by step in order for you to have the right structure, the right systems, and the right processes for your business. Like literally, if all you did was just came into our mentorship program from the initial coaching session to the final coaching session, and you did everything we instructed you to do in between, meaning that you learned and educated yourself at the top of the mountain with our Millionaire Blueprint. You learned about business, you learned about entrepreneurship, you learned about financial literacy, you learned about creative tax strategies, you learned about systems and processes and structures. If you learned those things just on the platform alone, and then you showed up every Monday in our weekly coaching calls, you learned what we was teaching, you asked questions, you got good, clear answers, you connected and networked with other entrepreneurs who are in the program. And then you complemented that with our quarterly workshops where we teach on the nuts and bolts of systems and processes, and we help you literally build them out and tailor them for your business. And then you participated in our masterminds, and you showed up periodically for our headquarter days. If you just did that, there is absolutely no way you would get a year out and not have all this figured out. It's just no way. Like let me tell you this. I got people who joined my program a year ago, and unfortunately, there are people who joined my program a year ago, and some of them are no further along today than they were a year ago. I say unfortunately, all right? It is what it is. But I also have people who have joined my program 4 or 5 months ago, right? And within 4 or 5 months, not only have they figured all this out, they're actually partners with me in certain business endeavors. Literally, just as simple as that. And they're ready to do other things because their goal is to become millionaires this year. Why? Because they came into that ecosystem, used it as an incubator for themselves, and allowed themselves and their structures and systems and processes to be developed so that they could see quantifiable success. And so with that being said, if you have not been introduced or have gotten any information or have talked to anyone here in my company about our Millionaire Blueprint, which is our online training program, or our Millionaire Mentorship Program, which is our accelerated coaching and consulting program, I really want you to take it into consideration. I would love to take a few minutes to share more information with you about what our Millionaire Mentorship is. And I mean, after this show, you should have an idea of what we're actually going to help you do. Okay, all you have to do is text. You could just text me the word millionaire to 404. You could text this word millionaire to 404-478-7213. And again, this is if you're like really sincerely serious about building the right structure, learning how to structure your holding company, your divisions, your subsidiaries. You're sincerely serious about creating the right systems, sales systems, marketing systems, financial systems, business systems, executive systems, operational systems into your business. And you really want to learn how to complement that structure and system with processes. We're teaching you all that. We're actually giving you access to the training, to the information, to an ecosystem and a community that's actually going through the same process with you. And we give you a year to work it all out, to work out all the kinks. And within that year, we have many people who win, we have many people who lose, but the people who don't get it are the people who just did not utilize the resources that we provided for them. Because it's not like I'm doing something in my company and I'm giving you something that I'm not doing in my company that I know is not going to work because I just want you to be a part of my program. I'm actually giving you what I'm using, and anytime I perfect it, master it, develop it, tweak it, expand it, and grow it, guess what I do? I reset whatever it is that I have given to you to add that to it so that you can continue to do the same thing. That's exactly how it works, and there are a lot of people who are working it and they're seeing the results from it. So I would love to have an opportunity to speak with you if you're interested. It's not even if you're interested. You know you got to do something because your business is not growing. You know you got to do something because you're not making enough money to do what you want to do. You know you got to do something because things are not actually clicking. You're confused, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, and all it takes is not for you to take 15 years like I did to figure all this out. Why are you going to take another 15 years to figure out what somebody else has already figured out? And you know all you have to do is just follow the game plan that somebody has put together and has made it real easy for you. So please, text the word millionaire if you want to speak with me. I'll be more than happy to share with you more information about our Millionaire Blueprint. This is the online version, our Millionaire Mentorship Program, which is a more accelerated version of our coaching and consulting services. We put both together so we make sure we give you everything we have. We also have a certification program for coaches and consultants. If you want to learn how to actually provide coaching and consulting, we have a certification program. We also have a licensing program. Our licensees, they get all the training. So as a licensee, you get the certification for consulting and coaching. You get our mentorship. You get our workshops, our masterminds, our headquarter days, our coaching sessions. You get our Millionaire Blueprint. So as you climb that ladder into our ecosystem, we just continue to add more and more features, more and more services, more and more value to you, because I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to experience what I'm experiencing every day of my life right now. So I love y'all. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us on this Winning Wednesday. And if you enjoyed this discussion about the Business Incubator, and if you understand it enough, please leave a comment. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and please subscribe to my YouTube page. We want to get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. I love you. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here.